Hey Print Hustlers, Lori here from Printavo. I just wanted to make a quick video to walk you through all of our premium features on our premium tier. What you see here is a demo account. I am logged in under a super admin user. So if you ever want to see what plan you are on or want to see the differences between the different plans we have, you can always go to this My Account section up on the top right and click up here where it says Update Billing Subscription. On this page, you can see what plan you're currently on, and then you can see all of our available features and all three of our different plans and what features go with each. So if we scroll down here, we're going to start with all these features here that are just on the premium tier. Starting off with our power scheduler. When you upgrade, one of the main things you will notice is that you now have a power scheduler tab over here on the left side. And within your My Account section, you will see something called workflow customization. So I'm going to click on this workflow customization to kind of show you the back end of the power scheduler. Now, to kind of give you some background on the power scheduler, it was designed for shops that have multiple different types of work that they do, usually with multiple different stations, multiple autos, things like that. So what the power scheduler allows you to do is designate what type of work is associated with your different orders. And then you can assign different line items, different types of work, and you can assign them to different stations. So you can keep really good track of where things are in your workflow, what's being done on, embroidery job versus a screen printing job. And it works really well for orders that you have multiple different types of work on. So maybe you have a quote that has embroidery and screen printing on it, and they have different workflows, but you want to keep them on the same invoice. So what we're looking at here is all your different types of work. So on this account, we have embroidery, finishing, screen printing, signage. So let's look at our screen printing type of work. So if we edit this, you can see here that we have multiple steps that kind of go into a screen printing order. So for a screen printing job to be completed, you need to have garments, you need to have screens, you need to have ink that's mixed, and you need to actually have, the printing done. So these different steps are all included in a screen printing type of work. Now, if we go to embroidery, for example, that's going to have a different process. You have your garments that need to be checked in. We have stitch out that needs to be done, production and maybe finishing on this as well. So you can have, and all of these different steps are totally customizable. So you can have as many or as few as you need. But what's really neat is you can have multiple types of work, and maybe on the same invoice, you have embroidery and screen printing, and maybe the screen printing portion is totally completed, and maybe you're still in production for embroidery, and you can keep track of that on the same order based on those different statuses that we just looked through. Now, what's also neat is you can keep track of your different stations. So you can have, on this account, we have an auto and a manual that we can do screen printing on, and we have 2 embroidery machines that we do embroidery on. So you can assign different jobs to different stations. So for the larger jobs, larger screen printing orders, you're going to want to assign that to your auto. For the smaller ones, you're going to want to do it to your manual. So that way you can keep really good track of where your jobs are, what day they're actually being produced on, and what station they're being worked on. You also are able to keep track of capacity for each of these stations. That's going to give you a better view of how much your orders are taking up on each station. Do you have more availability on certain stations? Are you overbooking other stations? So you can kind of organize things a little bit better. So let me show you what this looks like on an actual order. So I'll go to this test order that I created here. And another thing that you'll notice with the premium tier is that now there's a schedule tab up at the top. So this is where you can schedule this job on the power scheduler. So if we hit this schedule tab, you can see that this is a screen printing type of work. So it says screen printing. So we're just screen printing on this order, and it is not assigned to a day. So it's not scheduled, and it's not assigned to a station yet. So one thing to note is you can always assign things on this schedule tab as well. But if you go to the Power Scheduler tab over here, you can see that you have all your different types of work that you can look at. So we'll keep it for screen printing and we'll keep it this week. I have one thing that is unassigned. So there's two different views that you can look at for your Power Scheduler. There's a group view, which is grouped by day. Everything that's unassigned and unscheduled will always be at the top. But if things are scheduled and are assigned, you will see them associated with a day that you assign it to. There's also a list view, which doesn't have it grouped by days. It's just going to be a list of everything for screen printing in this time frame that you have that's due. So you can see here, if we click on this imprint, this is that, $475, that invoice that I created. And you can see there is one center chest logo, screen printing design that we're doing on these different Bella Canvas shirts right here. So I can say, all right, I want to close this out. The production due date is the 12th. So it needs to be done by the 12th because the customer needs it by the 13th. So let's say I want to start, if we can, I want to start with production by Thursday, and it's a 150 piece order. So we can probably assign that to our auto, and maybe that'll take us maybe 2 hours. So we're going to put in 120 minutes. So now what's kind of cool is your production team can go to their Power Scheduler. They can say, okay, I'm screen printing today. I'm going to go to screen printing. Maybe I want to look at the list view and I have this done and I need to start on this today on the 5th. You can also see that all those different steps that we looked at previously are right here. So your production team can say, okay, so, we've received the garments, screens are finished, ink is finished, so we can start on production now. So printing is in progress. So you can kind of keep track of the progression of your jobs based on this Power Scheduler. So that's one kind of new big feature that is on the premium tier. If we go back to this My Account section and go to Update Billing Subscription, we'll kind of go down the list here. So we talked about the Power Scheduler. Let's talk about purchase orders next. So purchase orders are a really great way to keep track of what items you need to order, what has been ordered, and what do you have in-house and where they're coming from. So if we go back to that invoice, let's add these line items to a purchase order. So you can see here, I have three 3001C Bella Canvas shirts, the same shirt, but 3 different colors. So what you can do is you can go to More Actions up here and hit Mark Line Items as Needs Ordering. So if I click on that, you will see that now gave each line item a status, each different product a status that says needs to be ordered. What you can do now is if you go to the purchase order tab over here, you can see these are all purchase orders that we have on this demo account with each individual status. So this one doesn't have anything, it hasn't been ordered yet. This has been ordered, goods have arrived on this one, but we want to create a new purchase order. So we'll hit Create Purchase Order. You can see here, these are ones that haven't been ordered yet, so you could technically still add things to. But if you look over here, this needs ordering section over here are all line items across every different invoice that has that needs ordering product status attached to it. So for this $475 test invoice, we have 3 different items on this invoice that need to be ordered. So I'm going to hit New Purchase Order. That's going to create Purchase Order 41. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to drag each different line item over to this purchase order. So I'm going to order all 3 of these line items, all 3 of these shirts from Alpha Broder, for example. Now, if there were other products over here on other invoices that also were alpha broder, you can drag them over here as well. So what's neat is that you can have multiple invoices have the same purchase order, and then you can toggle between them. We'll just keep it simple, and we're just going to keep this one purchase order have 3 different items from invoice 475. So within this purchase order, a couple things to note. You can see that it has a goods not ordered status. So this means it's still open, so you can add other things to it. If we edit this purchase order, you can select a vendor. So we were going to order these from Alpha Broder. So we can say, okay, we're going to send this to Alpha Broder. You can put in any notes about the purchase order that you want to say. Maybe you get some sort of special pricing, or you're ordering it from 2 different places. You can put in any kind of notes you need here. And then after you've ordered this, you can mark it as ordered. So you can say good status are ordered. You'll hit save. That updated the overall status of this purchase order. And then you can see here that this is attached, this invoice, this line item is attached to this invoice, and these are all attached to the same invoice. So if we go to invoice 475 and scroll down, you can see that the product status is products are ordered, and they're attached to this purchase order. So you can toggle between the purchase order and the invoice really easily. Another really cool feature about purchase orders are you can add tracking numbers. So say you ordered this from Alpha Broder and they sent you a couple different tracking orders because they're sending it to you from a couple different warehouses. So you can add those tracking numbers here. And then what's cool is Printavo will keep track of those tracking numbers, and when they are scanned in as arrived at your facility, it'll update this overall status of the order to goods have arrived. So you can always manually mark it as well. So if you hit goods arrived, it'll update it as goods arrived. If we go back into this invoice here, you can see that product status, products in-house, and they're attached to this purchase order. So purchase orders are a really great organizational tool to keep track of what do you have ordered, what needs to be ordered, and again, kind of where it came from. We go back to this purchase order as well, you are able to send this to your vendor. We're a little wary to do that right now with supply chain issues because it just adds a little extra time. So they might not, when you email it to them and you've confirmed that they have all the products in stock, by the time that they respond to that email and put it in, they might not have those items in stock. So while you can email it directly from Printavo, we recommend kind of manually still ordering it outside of Printavo and then manually adding those tracking information here and marking it as ordered. Okay, so if we go back to this My Account section here, we will go to billing subscription and keep going down the list. So one of the most used premium features are our production file upload feature. So if we go back again to that quote that I created, you can see, and we edit it, you can see that I have added a couple production files. So production files are any type of file that you want to keep track of with your order that you don't necessarily want the customer seeing. So maybe that's any vector art, AI files, order forms, really anything that your production team, your art department wants to keep track of that the customer doesn't need to see. So this is not where you're adding mock-up files for your customer to approve. This is any internal file that you want to keep track of. Kind of going along the lines with, where production files are, another premium feature is tagging. So what a lot of shops utilize tagging for that I've noticed recently is to keep track of where you're receiving this order. So maybe as your sales rep is typing up this quote and it was a referral, or it was a walk-in, or it was from a Google ad or something like that, or a repeat customer, you can keep track of that repeat or something like that. And then you can pull a report every year, every month, every quarter to see how many jobs were you getting that were referrals or that were repeat customers. So it's just another kind of metric that you can keep track of. Going along the lines with this, kind of premium features on the editing of a quote, you'll notice that if you are on a most recent tier of Printavo, you will have a MockUp Creator tool that you'll notice here. So if you click on the MockUp Creator, you can see that I have 3 different Bella Canvas shirts. It's the same shirt, but different colors. And you can see the orchid, the vintage black, and the white are all pulled in. The stock images are pulled in from Alpha Broder directly. And this tool is really neat because you can add let's do this white shirt and let's add a design, maybe the image, initial logo that your customer, gave you. You can add that design and then you can quickly add it to a shirt just to quickly give them a glance of what they can approve, what they're approving, what it's going to look like. So you can, move it around, change the dimensions. So let's say that we're just doing like a little tiny logo on the right chest here. So you can do that. You can hit Save Mockup after you've added it. And what that's going to do is if we go back to the invoice, you can see that we added that image here. The logo and the overall image was added to the job for the customer to be able to approve. So again, the mockup creation tool is on actually the standard and premium tiers, but it's on our most recent pricing, our modern pricing. So it will not be included on legacy pricing, only new pricing moving forward. All right, so we'll save this order. A couple other premium features while we're on this quote are box labels and barcodes. So if you go to more actions down here and look at print box labels, this is a great premium feature where you can print out these box labels, slap them on boxes, and then you can scan this barcode with a barcode scanner or even a smartphone, just the camera, it will pull it up. And you're able to see exactly what is in that box, the customer information, the quantities, things like that. So this is another great tool to kind of keep you organized. And we have some really great videos actually that kind of show how to utilize these in shops in more detail. Another feature that we have are contractor profiles. So contractor profiles, you'll set those up in this My Account section up here, and you will scroll down to where it says contractor profiles here. So on this demo account, we have just this Printavo test company contractor profile that we'll add to that test invoice in a second. What this is for is if you do a lot of jobs for another print shop, and they want to have your information hidden, you want it to look like it's coming from that other shop when you're sending it to the end customer. What you can do is you can create contractor profiles and assign those profiles to jobs so you can have their logo populate instead of yours, their company name, their phone number, their website, their email, their address. So it looks like it's coming from them instead of you. So if we go back one more time to this invoice, you can see normally it has this blue shirt printing logo. It has, this address, logo, all this information here. If we edit this and go down to where it says profile right here and add that test company profile and hit save, you can see that it replaced that logo with this simple Printavo one. It changed the company name, the contact information. So it kind of hides that from the customer. And that will also be reflected on all public views of this quote or invoice to your customer. So you're able to hide your information and replace it with another shop's or another company's. Some other great premium features around messaging. So if we go down to where it says messaging right here, there are 2 different premium features in the messaging center. So the first one is text messaging. So we link with a software company called Twilio. So you will have to create a Twilio account and then connect it to Printavo. And once you do that, you're able to text your customers directly from Printavo via automations, or even you can send manual text messages for payment requests as well. So these texts are great if you want to send little updates to your customers via text messages instead of an email around approvals, payment requests, even just notifications around your order's ready for pickup or your order's been shipped. You can text message them now instead of just emailing. Another premium feature that we don't have set up on this demo account, but is a really great feature, is custom domain messaging. So right now, when you are messaging your customers out of Printavo on the light and standard plans, the messages are going to come from your shop. It's going to have your logo. It's going to have your contact information, your shop name. All of that is going to be, presented to your customer. But the actual email that it's coming from is messages@printavo.com. What custom domain messaging does is it allows you to take us out of the equation altogether and have your emails come directly from your specific email and take that messages@printavo.com kind of out of the equation. That's going to help if you've ever had issues with customers not receiving your messages or them going to junk or spam. This can really help with that. One of the last, and I'm going to say arguably most powerful Printavo features is going to be down here with our Zapier and API access. So what this means is we give you an API token so you can connect Printavo to other software. So if you know how to code, you can do that yourself. But a really great tool that allows for software engineers to connect two platforms together is Zapier. So what a lot of shops do, a couple examples of how people can utilize this open API access, is if you have an order form on your website, for example, and maybe you want a new submission to that order form to automatically generate a new quote in your Printavo account. What you can do is you can utilize Zapier. So the trigger would be a new submission to that order form, can then automatically create a new quote in your Printavo account. Another way you can utilize it is if you use maybe MailChimp for email marketing campaign, and you want a new customer in Printavo to automatically be added to that marketing campaign. You can utilize Zapier to do that. So a new customer in Printavo can trigger that customer information to be added to your MailChimp marketing campaign. The possibilities are honestly pretty endless with Zapier and our API access. It allows you, bottom line, you can connect Printavo to thousands of other softwares. And then finally, Printavo merch is included on our premium tier now. So previously it is $99 a month on our standard tier. It's an additional cost of $99 a month. But on our most recent modern premium pricing, Printavo merch is included. So you can have online stores included in your Printavo pricing. We have a ton of really great videos that go into merch that I would highly recommend to check out. We can link that to this article as well. But if you have any questions about what tier you're currently on, how to upgrade, you want more details on any of these features that we talked about, you can write in to us at success@printavo.com, or if you know your dedicated success manager, you can reach out to them directly and we'll make sure we get you updated and all your questions answered. Happy printing and have a great rest of your day, everyone.